there's a good chance that your dizziness is caused by an autoimmune problem. And what I mean by that, your immune system is there to fight off invaders that come into your body, to keep you from getting sick, right? If your immune system is out of whack, if there's a problem, if it's out of balance, if there's a problem in your immune system, it attacks especially the cerebellum because of the metabolic demand that I told you about, and it chews up these pathways. So this is the 40% of the metabolic stuff that I'm talking about. Okay? If you've got an autoimmune condition chewing up your cerebellum, causing your vertigo, that trumps everything. That is the cause of your cerebellum. We need to fix it before we can fix everything else. So the immune panels will let us know, number one, if you are truly autoimmune or if it's just what we call a dysregulation problem. Not only that, but it's going to tell us about two very specialized cells in your immune system called Th1 and Th2. Now, the function of Th1 and Th2 are to tell the immune system what to eat, when to eat, and how often to eat. When I say eat, I'm talking about eating the pathogens that are in your system. Right? So if Th1's here and Th2's down here, they're completely out of balance, and your immune system just keeps chomping. That's the basis of autoimmune disease. So that balance is causing the chomping to happen on the cerebellum itself, and you're getting dizzy. So we've got to run the test, the immune panels, to find out if that is truly the case with your vertigo so that we can get you better faster. Now, we have to talk about sensitivities. If you are autoimmune, it could be caused by a food that you eat that you're sensitive to, and it's driving your immune system crazy, and it's making you dizzy. And the only way to find out if you're sensitive to these foods is to run the test. So we run tests to see if you're sensitive to gluten, eggs, soy, yeast, and milk. And you may have just said to yourself, but doc, I've already been tested for celiac disease and it's not, it was negative. Well, the problem is the blood ranges that are typically used are not very accurate. If they say that you are positive for gluten sensitivity, then chances are you are positive. But the problem is if you're negative, then you're probably still positive because there's a high, what we call a false negative rate. So the test that we use is actually a stool test that's going to check, like I said, for gluten, eggs, soy, yeast, and milk. If you're sensitive to any of those, it could be causing your vertigo. It causes inflammation, it drives your immune system crazy, and the end result is you feel dizzy. So the only way to adjust your diet to get rid of your your vertigo is to find out what you're sensitive to and get rid of it so we can start to balance it out. We also need to talk about the adrenal glands. There's another test that we run called the adrenal stress index. The adrenal stress index allows us to evaluate a substance called cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone. That's when you're under a lot of stress, your adrenal glands produce a tremendous amount of cortisol. The adrenal stress index will measure your cortisol levels at 4 different times during the day. Your cortisol levels should look like this. In the morning, you're up here. In the afternoon, towards the evening, they start to wane like this. Okay? This will graph your cortisol levels, and if your cortisol levels look like this instead of like this, there's a problem. It's going to affect your blood sugar, and it could be making you dizzy. So we have to address cortisol. We have to run the test, the adrenal stress index, to find out if you're sensitive to cortisol. If you have a cortisol problem, so we can fix it so that you get better faster. Another test we run is called the stool microbial profile. Now, take a step back and go back to autoimmune diseases for a minute. If you've got an autoimmune condition, that means there's something in your blood that's driving your immune system crazy. That something in your blood could be a pathogen, such as a bacteria, a yeast, a fungus, or mold. The stool microbial profile is going to allow us to figure out what that is so that we can get rid of it so that you get better faster. Now, that is the metabolic component of vertigo. It's all about running the proper tests, finding out what's wrong with your systems through blood work, finding out your food sensitivities, finding out where your adrenal gland's at, and finding out if you've got another pathogen in there that's driving this whole thing. So remember what I said. Your vertigo is probably 60% neurology and 40% metabolic. So if we just address the neurology, how much better are you going to get? If we just address the metabolic part, how much better are you going to get? Okay? You're not going to get better unless we do both. And that's what separates me from any other doctor you've seen, is that we're going to use both the proper nutritional and metabolic and neurological protocols to help you get rid of your vertigo. Now, what I want you to ask yourself right now is, how much has your condition cost you in the terms of time, happiness, money, sleep, and time with your family? How much does it cost you? And what I also want you to ask yourself is, how much is it worth to you to get over your vertigo? What's going to happen if we don't? In 5 years, if we do nothing, what's going to happen? I want you to ask yourself those questions. And then I want you to call the office, make an appointment so you and I can sit down and discuss your case and to see how we can get you better the fastest. Now, what I want you to do with this video, I want you to watch it again because it's complicated. There's a lot of things I saw in here. So watch the video again, and then make your appointment, and then I want you to share this video with someone else and help change their lives as well. Thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing you in the office. Thank you.